Now we present to you America's quintessential iconoclastic anomaly. Wow. In talk radio, your host, Joe Cristiano.
Folks, it's time for us to take back control of our government now before this bureaucratic, oversized, and self-serving federal government starves us of our property, our freedom, our rights, and our liberty. But to do this, we must shed conventional thinking regarding our political structure. We need to be revolutionaries in thought. I'll repeat that, revolutionaries in thought, dissidents in action. Only after we recognize what our government is doing to our freedom and our Constitution will we start taking it back. And this program is just about that. And welcome everyone to the hallowed halls of the University of Logic, better known as Cristiano's Conservatory, correcting convoluted conversation. This is Liberty Talk Radio. I'm your host, Joe Cristiano, on 1170 KFAQ. This is your antidote to popular talk radio. Welcome, everyone. And today in our studio, we have my lovely wife is visiting with us today. You want to say hello?
Wow. Hello, darling.
Hello, darling. Isn't that sweet?
Thank you.
And my girlfriend, my agent's wife.
Hi.
She won't say hello.
Ann. She won't say hello.
And of course, Mr. Zombie, my agent.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And everyone's here. Yeah. And later on, we're going to have Randy Brogdon visiting with us.
Okay.
He's running for office. He's running for the Tom Coburn seat. He's a former senator here in Oklahoma.
He's got to be crazy, doesn't he, to even try to go for something like that? Who would want to go to Washington? I don't know. He's a brave man, I'll tell you.
He is. He's a good man. He's a good man. I'm glad he's going to be here. There's a couple of things I want to just get off the table first.
Okay, yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah. I would like every one of my listeners. No, I'm not like. No, this is an order. This is an assignment.
Oh, even that kid we met.
This is an assignment.
Whole Foods.
Everyone who is listening to this program must. I'm not saying you should. You must go to this website. It's hiddensecretsofmoney.com. And I'm going to repeat that. If you're driving, obviously you can't write this down unless you have automatic pilot. Hidden, HIDEEN. hiddensecretsofmoney.com. Hold on. HIDDEN. Oh, I said the wrong word. I was just corrected.
They didn't teach you that at Patient
That's the second mistake I ever made in my life. hiddensecretsofmoney.com. If you watch these videos, there's 5 particular videos, and you can actually listen to them in any order, but it's best to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
as well. Yeah, YouTube, you can find it.
If you do, you will be 1 of 100. Many believe 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000 that will understand our monetary system. Once you comprehend the monetary system and the effects that it has on society and where it is going, it will change your life.
How so?
I have watched these videos. Now, I understand the monetary system. That's what I talk about all the time.
Right.
I was
very
a corporate officer. An internal auditor for Royal Dutch Shell. I was the analyst doing all the big companies that wanted to buy big tonnage of fuel from us. So I have a general idea. I mean, I've always been in that arena.
You're pretty confident. Yeah.
No, that's stretching it.
That's
but I mean, I'm a little bit closer than most the average Joe Blow.
Yeah, you know what it
I understand, right? Yeah. And I watched this and I said, I didn't realize how unclear I was as to what I did know. It makes it clear because it's in Dick and Jane language. What some people would say in 2 or 3 sentences and assume you understand, they take 5 videos, each one about 30 minutes, 28 minutes, something like that, each. But they're fascinating. I'm on my 3rd walkthrough.
Now, the number 4 is specifically about the Federal Reserve, right?
They're all about. Really, they all relate to the Federal Reserve. Now, I really would not pick out one. I would say they all do. One is close. One talks specifically.
Titled, it's titled "Understanding the Federal Reserve."
Yeah, but it's best to understand the basics because once you watch this, you know it's true. And some of the people on the video, Jim Ricketts, for example, the most, in my opinion, most brilliant man in the world when it comes to monetary policy and banking. The most brilliant. There is no more. This guy has 4 degrees, a PhD. He has 2 law degrees. He was the legal counsel for Long-Term Management Capital, that when they went under, now he wasn't responsible, he's the legal counsel for them, but that's how big it was. When Long-Term Capital Management in Hartford, Connecticut went under, I think it was 1999, I remember that day, it took down the entire financial system with it. That's how big it was. I mean, this guy knows more than anyone else in the world. When the government plays these war games, they have 3 different games that they play simultaneously. They play hot war games, they're called hot games, word games. They play cyber games and currency war games, all 3 at once. He's the one that's called in by the government to play to manufacture and to design the
diagnose
the currency. No, he designs formulates the currency. The currency games. In other words, currency wars, basically.
How to manipulate them and all that.
I mean, without him, they can't do it. He's the most knowledgeable. So these are the type of people that are in this video. So it's not like people like me who have a lot of opinion, talk show hosts. We're not talking about that. Now, Max Kaiser is in a couple of them. For example, he's very knowledgeable. So anyway, but do this. HiddenSecretsOfMoney.com. You will be one of 1,000 that will understand what's going on. It will frighten the heck out of you, but it will get you moving in the right direction. In addition to that, I'd like you, this is more public service.
These are required readings.
Absolutely required, yeah.
Watching.
I'd like everyone to go to Andy Sutton's website. It's andysutton.com, and he breaks down the issues, mostly monetary issues and what's going on. The economics
Great
of it.
sense of humor. He's a little
Great.
sarcastic.
Yeah, he's on our program. AndySutton.com, AndySutton.com. Very simple, and just read them. They're short, sweet, concise. Okay, enough of that. By the way, I made amends this weekend.
What'd you do?
Well, it's strange. I accidentally forgot to get my wife a Christmas present this year.
Joe, how in the world?
I mean, I was busy.
Did you do
I was
that?
busy.
You were busy.
I didn't mean to.
What kind of a husband are you?
And then like her birthday rolled by, but it rolled by so quickly. I was left behind.
What excuses here,
now,
Joe? I mean.
I'm sorry, and I don't mean this.
She's a lovely lady. How could you do that to Aaron?
Well, and then, but the third one I'm not responsible for.
Okay.
Right?
Well, now what's that now?
That was our anniversary. See, that was under the radar.
Under the radar.
Yeah, our anniversary was under the radar,
and
so
radar.
I wouldn't have missed that one. But so I figured that I owed her something,
Well,
so
I
decided to take her out this weekend.
Well, good.
Right? Yeah.
So you kind of make up for all that.
Made up for right.
Man, this guy's something, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm going to take her out to the movies and.
So you didn't take
the movies.
The
movies. I took her. Yeah, I took her.
The movies. That's how you made up for it.
That's how.
Was it the dollar movie?
Yeah, I was going to
No,
say.
what I did.
I'm sorry. Where did you take her?
I bought her to the movies, and we bought that big bucket of popcorn for $7.50. Believe it or not, because
did you get
I wanted
a credit
to impress
application
her.
when you got up there? You got a credit
big
application.
Bucket of popcorn, right? And we went to go see my favorite movie, Godzilla. Godzilla in IMAX 3D. Fantastic movie.
So you made up for Christmas, birthday, and anniversary by taking your wife to see Godzilla.
Yeah, well, don't forget the popcorn.
And then the popcorn. Yeah, my God. Did you have the butter on it, too?
Oh, yeah, butter was on it. The whole bit.
Joe.
Yeah, we went all out.
Big spender, buddy.
Cost me $29.
Diamond,
I know I overextend
Diamond
myself.
Joe Cristiano we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Diamond Joe.
Now,
hey, he had to cash in some silver to do that.
I'm a real Godzilla fan. I'm a real Godzilla fan. I really am.
Do you remember the movies?
Godzilla Eats Tokyo is my favorite.
He didn't look rubbery, though, this time, did he? He looked real.
Well, it was a fantastic movie. It was absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, I didn't understand it.
What? It's simple. There's a big gorilla and a lizard.
There was more than one Godzilla. There was a Godzilla and two other creatures are bigger than Godzilla.
You're kidding.
Yeah. But I won't get into it because it'll take us over an hour for me to explain. But I didn't understand.
But you enjoyed the movie, and
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a great movie.
How did Aaron feel after that? As far as
madly in love with me. She
really?
couldn't keep her hands off of me.
She had to. She was looking for the romantic theme throughout the movie and never found it.
Yeah, you didn't take her to a love story movie. You took her to Godzilla. Wow.
Yeah. I tell you,
high class.
I didn't just like I don't understand my zombie agent. I didn't understand Godzilla.
Did she get scared and squish up next to you and everything?
Yeah, I tell you. Now, guys, I'm going to get a little bit more serious. I think.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think I'm going to get a little bit more serious.
No,
right?
boy.
I want to talk about Brazil for a second.
Okay.
And there's a reason for this.
All right. Yeah.
You know, Brazil is about the 7th largest economy GDP wise in the world. Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, you sound like Johnny Carson. I did not know that.
Bring him on in. Come on in.
And now, Brazil has been known for decades as the nation of the future.
How so?
Because it has about everything and anything that you can think of. It has an intelligent workforce. It has natural resources. It's sort of the United States of South America. Right? And so everyone is always anticipating that Brazil is going to be the next up-and-comer, you know, the world's biggest economy. And they have been predicting this for 30 or actually 40, 50 years now.
Lots of land, beef.
It's got everything. It's
natural
got
resources.
Natural resources.
Yeah.
It has everything that you need. Good universities, centrally located. But
great people. They're great people.
Wonderful, right? And yet, Brazil is sort of like that sign you see at the in the bars. Not that I frequent bars. I never go into a bar.
The sign you see in the bars. Okay.
I mean, I've been told.
When was the last time you were in a bar?
Okay, so I lied. Wow. But I've been told that you see the sign. It says free beer tomorrow. You know, then you get in the next day and they got free beer.
Yeah, all right.
Well, Brazil isn't the free beer tomorrow country, right? Why is that so? You see, Brazil has a problem. It's got 10% productivity and 90% administration.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
It is over. You can't get anything.
Flip-flopped.
You can't walk across the street without filling out a form. You know, it is that way. Now, I went to the doctor's office 2 days ago. I had to do something very complicated. Doctor just calls me and he says, hey, every 6 months, he says, I want you to come in. I want to check your blood pressure, just see how you're doing. Would you believe it? I have a propensity to high blood pressure. I know you find that you find that difficult to believe. I know that. I know it's ridiculous, right? Well, anyway, so I get there at 7:45. I have 8 o'clock appointment. I pre-filled out all of the new forms, which, believe it or not, had to be witnessed. Oh. I mean, they're just simple forms.
Did they ask you if you had a gun?
I recognize this. I reckon, I prove that. And this. I needed witnesses, notaries, all this stuff. I had all these forms. That I said, I'm going to do this in advance because I'm not doing this crap, when I'm at the doctor's office.
You got
to
do it every time.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So I go there. The woman behind the counter now I'm the first person there because I open at 8 o'clock. Impressed that I have all these forms filled out. She says, this is great. She says, you're all ready to go. We got you in the computer because we already did that stuff before. And I sat there, waited for the doctor. Now it's 7:45, right? Eventually, sometime after 8 o'clock, I get to see the nurse comes out. She says, next. And I go in, right? She takes my blood pressure. Don't like the way she takes my blood pressure, but my blood pressure was good. It was like 128 over 75 or something.
Wow.
Like, it wasn't bad.
Pretty good,
yeah, it wasn't bad. So then I go see the doctor. I go to the doctor's office. But is it time already?
Yeah, but that's okay. Go ahead and finish your story, then we'll take a break.
Well, it's a long story.
Okay.
It's a long story. Because we're going to take a break and we'll come back.
Don't
go away because you will not know what happened and you will sleep tonight. Stay with us. Okay, for those of you who held on the line, sitting at the edge of your seat because you had to hear the conclusion of the stupid story about me going to the doctor. Anyway, just to summarize, I went to the doctor, waiting a long time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Finally get to see the doctor. He walks in. He's in a bad mood. He's in the same bad mood that I'm in because I had to fill out all the forms. He had to fill out all the forms. He's like an attorney. He's got all these forms. Do you realize what we're doing today? And he reads me all these stupid things in the form that I'm going to do. I said, I'm here to take my blood pressure and let me get the hell out of here, you know? Well, he says, we have to go through this. And he is hot. Not angry with me. He's angry with the system. And I know what he's thinking. He's been my doctor for 30 years. Love the guy. Everyone loves him. He's a great guy. Works till 9 o'clock every night because he won't sacrifice his patients. He takes his time because he does all the crap, but he still spends the time with the patients. And I feel sorry for him. I really do. I always feel sorry for him. And he's so angry and he's so tired looking. He's just so worn out. And I know he's gonna drop out. And I would not blame him. If he didn't, I would scold him for not doing that. Anyway,
because comparing us again to Brazil, we're all administration and no
right. Yeah, that's my point. So the gal comes in. She says, "Well, I got to check your medication." She says, "Are you still taking da 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 da?" I said, "Never heard of it." She says, "Oh, what about da 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 da?" I said, "Never heard of it." "Are you still taking Dronacom?" Never heard of it. "Oh, we must have this thing mixed up."
Oh, my God.
They had all my wrong medication. I said, "Oh my God, we're in trouble." Anyway, takes my blood pressure's fine. You know, he said, "That's great." I'm leaving the place, right? And as I walk out, I get into my car. I went, I forgot to make an appointment for the next 6 months. Run back in again. Now, we're only talking about a minute or two, and there's a few people online. There are 3 gals behind the counter, plus a supervisor. 4 people behind the counter, right? All I had to do is say, "I'd like to make an appointment, 6 months," right? We're talking, 30 seconds, right? So the woman standing up, supervisor, who's telling everyone what to do, she says, "Sit down." She says, "You're not next."
Oh no!
Oh no!
So,
gosh!
No, I was nice. I said, "Okay."
Did it?
I sat there for a half hour.
Oh.
I got there for a half hour. I said, "Excuse me, I just want to make an appointment." She said, "There are people ahead of you," which there were not, by the way. These people were coming through. I sat down again. Another 15 minutes. I get up and I go to the counter. She said, "We didn't call you yet." I said, "Ma'am," I said, let me advise you of something. I'm next," like that. And she got frightened. I said, "I'm next," and I wasn't nasty. I was firm.
I bet
she
so.
turned around and walked out of the room. The gal by the computer, she said, "Your name is so and so." I said, "Yes." She said, "You see Dr. So and so?" "Yes." It's just 6 months. She had it all down. I said, "Yes." She said, "How about the 24th?" I said, "That'll be fine." Out. Less than 20 seconds. 45 minutes for 20 seconds worth of work. My point being this, is that Brazil is the nation of always the nation of the next century, the next decade, right? Always the nation of the future, right? And we were, back in 1910, before World War II, we were 90-some-odd% productivity, less than 10% administration. And guess what we're turning into? We're turning into Brazil. We're turning into 90% administration, just like I experienced, and 10% productivity. Folks, all you have to do, and if you watch these videos, The Hidden Secrets of Money, you'll realize the further back you study history, the more clearly you can project your future. And our future is dim, not because I'm a naysayer or a doomsday guy, all that garbage. It's because you have to be a realist. You have to know where you are, what reality is. And right now, we are in deep trouble. We're not getting out of it, and it is getting worse. It will get worse unless we have something a lot different than just a change of Republican versus Democrat, the conservative versus them. It means nothing. Remember now, our Republican Congress, that's supposed to be fighting for our rights, right? What did they do? They voted for an extension on the war on terror. Now, where the heck are the... I immediately, when I heard that, looked out my window, I said, the people have to be rioting in the streets. There has to be rioting. I want to join them. Perfectly quiet woman walking her dog. How could you walk your dog? They just extended the act on terror. You see what I mean, folks? It's over. It's typically over.
Turn out the lights and call the law.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
And to think that our healthcare system is only a microcosm of the entire administration of our country. Now, what's really interesting is I read an article recently where Sweden, it's always been an attraction to people saying, Oh, you want universal health care, free health care? Sweden is the example. Guess what Sweden is doing and what has been transforming? To a free market health system. Because people are waiting a minimum of 90 days to get their blood pressure checked.
You heard that on CBS
And by that
News,
time,
right?
I have a whole article here.
I'm just kidding.
Here it is. I think I have it right here. Yeah, the title of the title of the article is "The Market is Taking Over Sweden's Healthcare System." Right, and I won't go into it. We don't have time. But in effect, they realize that the only way that people will get good, efficient, inexpensive health care is the free market capitalist system. Period. Okay. Why? Someone's pointing at me. Why are you pointing at me?
I was just saying,
not you. I'm not talking to you. I'll talk to you in zombie
I think
language.
she was looking for more popcorn.
But you know what? I have people, folks. I tell you, I need to have a monitor. Anyone want to be a
while we're
monitor?
talking about it, can you
people
put
start. People speak to me in sign language.
Here, Joe.
But they talk to me in sign language. They're pointing this and that. Like I know what they're doing. They're driving me crazy. You know.
Well, they give you cue cards too,
Now,
like the old days.
we hear you're Indian. You're not just Italian. You're Indian.
Listen, my friends give me sign language, but I won't get into that right now. Now, I get the Wall Street. I get the Wall Street Journal. I get the Wall Street Journal only because
I'm impressed.
No, don't be impressed. I get it free. Because I got so many credits on my credit card, thing for my business, and they say, if either you're going to lose all those credits or you'll get the Wall Street Journal free. So I take it, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, they drive me nuts. Here's an article today. I mean, almost flung coffee at the coffee shop just for the fun of it. Here's the title. It says, "Windfall enriches life of poor reservation." This woman, for some reason, found, I won't get into it, but she came into $52,000, right? She was dirt poor. I mean, her kids needed shoes. I mean, didn't have money for shoes. So she got the $52,000, paid off a few of her debts, bought her children shoes, and she's standing there by her new car. Okay? Now listen to this. This woman's dirt poor, had no money at all. And she bought a new car, and they're talking how wonderful it is, right? It's a Cadillac Escalade.
Wow!
A Cadillac Escalade pickup truck with custom wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just looked it up, just for the heck of it, how much a new one would cost. Now I'm sure it's not new; it may be a year or two old. I'm assuming, right? Because it looks brand new. $70,000.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Now I'll bet dollars to donuts she blew every dime she had and then some on that car.
Well, she probably got credit on that car.
Yep. And not only that, but she probably never asked, how much is the insurance per year? Probably about $2,000-$3,000 a year on a car like that,
License plate.
License, registration, whatever.
Sales, sales tax.
And then what about next year? Are they going to put an article in the paper, in this stupid paper? Are they going to put it in? Woman who gets found $52,000, took her out of poverty, is now in the poorhouse, and her car got repossessed. Folks, this is the way we think. If you listen to this radio station, you're probably thinking, what should I do? Don't go out and buy a new car. My sons complain. They say, Dad, you could go out and buy any car you want. Why do you drive this old 1996 Subaru? And I say, allow me to correct you a little bit. I said, I hate doing this, but I think correction is right. I said, I can afford to go out and purchase any car dealership. That's really the way it is. That's how much money. I said, that's not the point. And of course, they get mad when I say that, Now, I'm only teasing. I can't. But, I mean, I try to make this point that I can do that if I wanted to, but I wouldn't. We have to do the things that are good for us, right for us at this time. And right now, going out and buying a Cadillac is about the worst investment you can make into your future. And this is what we're applauding in the Wall Street Journal.
There you go.
If you bought one that was probably a 2001, you'd probably get a real good deal.
Yeah, excuse me, how much time we have left?
Less than a minute.
Oh, geez. Okay, well, we're not going to get to my main subject, which I screwed around just talking, laughing, and fooling around.
We're done with our middle break, right?
No, not yet. The middle break. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say, what's the difference between a zombie and a politician?
Okay.
Absolutely nothing. No, really. Really, what do zombies do? You ever see the zombies? They all walk around, like my agent does, And but you ever notice one thing, that the zombies, they're always eating people, right? And their guts and stuff like that, right? Very delicious stuff,
kind of thing,
Right? But you ever notice that? You ever wonder why one zombie never eats another zombie?
Why?
I don't know. You know why? Because they're zombies.
I thought maybe you had the answer for that one, too.
You ever ask why one politician never zaps another politician, but they'll screw the hell out of the public? So there's no difference between the way a zombie thinks and the way a politician thinks. Stay with us. We're going on break. We'll be back with Randy Brogdon. Thank you for hanging around, folks. Of course, if you did leave us, we will find you, and you'll be sorry. So it's best that you stay there and protect yourself. No, I really hope you stay with us, because we have a great second half, and we have Randy Brogdon. Brogdon. No, he's bragging about himself. Randy Brogdon.
I like that new
My
name.
goodness gracious.
That's got a senatorial name if ever. Randy Brogdon.
That's right.
I like that.
Hey, you might change it. Talk to his campaign guy.
Randy Brogdon.
Not that I've totally embarrassed myself.
Give him another cup of coffee.
All right. Wow. Randy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe Castelluni.
Touche. Good job, Randy. Way to go, buddy.
He's here with his lovely wife, and we thank you for being here. Randy, what possesses you to run for the U.S. Senate seat, which is going to be vacated soon, currently held by our
Tom Coburn.
Tom Coburn.
Right.
Why?
Well, the serious answer is I believe, Joe, that the greatest threat to our liberty and our economic prosperity is coming from Washington, D.C., and I want to help stop that threat. I'm concerned about my kids' future, my grandkids. I'm concerned that they're not going to experience this great American dream that I've experienced my entire life. We got some severe problems because of bad politics, bad policies from a lot of bad politicians. Joe, about 15 years ago, my focus changed from the business world to public service. And I have been pushing back and fighting against the abusive policies of Washington, D.C. from without. I'm ready to go right into the belly of the beast and continue that fight. So I feel compelled to do this for our future.
Well, Randy, I applaud what you just said. Now, if I was a cynic, of course I'm not a cynic.
Not at all.
But, we do hear this, right?
Sure.
I mean, no one ever says, I'm going to go to Washington so I can enrich myself and make some really fat bucks at the expense of the,
But it happens.
And yet, if you look historically, nothing changes.
Right.
If anything, things get worse. Now, here we have a relatively conservative Republican Congress, and they approve the continuation of the war on terror. I mean, to me, you think that thing would have been totally gone by now. It seems that we have turncoats would be a very, very light word. How do we take what you just said in other words, if I'm just a listener, I'm not here with you in the studio, I'm listening, I'm driving around listening, I said, all right, I heard this before, and I turn on to something else. Right? How do you convince anyone that you really are different and you're not the same as everybody else?
Yeah, well, and we've all heard that, and believe you me, I get worn slick with political two-stepping. I don't enjoy being around most politicians. I don't enjoy politics, but I'm a policy guy. And I can tell you that I will have a tremendous influence in the United States Senate because I will take the same tenacity and the same fight with me that I had serving the people of Oklahoma in the state Senate. Joe, I don't know how long you have been around here in Oklahoma or if you even know much about my history in the state Senate. Certainly the KFAQ listeners, they know.
They know big time.
Yeah, they know what I have been able to accomplish. And let me just run through the list very briefly so you'll know. When I talk about limited government, I truly mean it. When I talk about lower taxes and getting the federal government off of our back, protecting our privacy, all those kind of things, the Fourth Amendment, the things that most politicians love to talk about but rarely do anything about it, I did something about it. I wrote the Taxpayer Bill of Rights to protect the taxpayers on how fast government could grow from one year to the next. In order to protect to know how much money the politicians spent, I wrote the Taxpayer Transparency Act. It is open records now. Anyone can go online and see the spending habits of the politicians. And let me tell you, their spending habits are pretty poor. In order to protect our property rights, I stopped the NAFTA superhighway from coming into the state of Oklahoma, confiscating 37,000 acres right here in this state to help the efficiency of government. In 2010, I wrote a constitutional amendment for term limits for statewide elected officials. It was overwhelmingly passed here in this state. So my record and my rhetoric perfectly align with each other. I received a 100% constitutional conservative voting record 6 of the 8 years that I served in the Senate. I have a lifetime record of 93%. That's an A by anybody's standards.
Right. Very good. 2
of the gentlemen that I'm running against, I think you've maybe interviewed 1 or 2 of them, they have in the mid to low 70s average. So what separates me, it's my history of fighting for the principles that I cherish and I believe in, and I have fought to protect and hand down to the next generation. That is my goal, and it's a worthy goal that I think we all need to be vested in.
Yeah. Well, we just had a primary in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And in that primary, when you think about it, a very small percentage of the voters voted.
Yeah, it'll happen here too.
Right. Now, here's my take on it. I haven't done an analysis. But today, if a conservative Republican runs for office, you get the old codgers, the old neocons, they'll come out and they'll vote. The guy could be serving term for life imprisonment, they'll vote for.
Right.
They'll vote for the conservative Republican. Yeah. The people, the massive number of people, the large mass, are the younger voters. And what are the younger voters doing? They're staying home.
Yeah.
They're like me. I don't vote. If you don't give me someone to vote for, I'm not voting.
Right.
It's like saying you got a choice. You can vote for Stalin or you can vote for Hitler. Hey, you got to vote. No, I don't vote. I very rarely vote.
Yeah.
Because of that, not that I don't want to vote. Now, what if we had Republican, Democrat, and none of the above? You'd get everyone to vote. And now,
exactly.
Guess who would win? Who would win a good 75% of the time?
Yeah.
None of the above.
None of the above,
right. Now, what are you doing, or how are you going to capture? And I guess the only way that you can sort of assure yourself of a good win is if you get attract all of the younger voters, those that are disenfranchised, and I include myself as a younger voter because I'm only 71 years old. Okay. When I get old, I'll call you. And when they come in and they start voting, then you stand a chance of really overwhelming the ballot box, right? How are you going to do that, or do you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with it at all. And we do need younger voters, and actually it's the young voters today that have been awakened to the liberty message. And that's what's at risk. I said that in my opening statement. Liberty is at risk in our country today, and right here in the state of Oklahoma. So how do I do it? I go out and share that message. When I ran for governor 4 years ago in 2010, when I filed for office, although I had already served in the state Senate for 8 years, I only had a 1.5% name ID statewide. I was not known. But because of my message of freedom, limited government, and the things that I hear you talk about on your show on a regular basis, I received 40% of the Republican primary vote in a 4-way race against Mary Fallin. Now, that was pretty impressive, coming from a 1.5 to 40%.
Very, very good. Yeah.
And it's because of the message. My message rings true. Now, here's the difference. I am a grassroots candidate. I am a man of the people. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a worker bee. I own my own businesses for 30 years plus. And it's only been the last 15 years that I have entered into public service. But I've done it for a very noble reason and a very noble cause, and it's the cause we all better get a hold of.
Right.
We got to retain it. We got to restore it. We got to protect it. And so as I sell this liberty message, it's ringing true to the younger crowd. That's why we see masses of younger people in the last presidential election running to the polls. Now, they got hoodwinked, and we see what we have today. And Joe, I can tell you, the Republican Party is not the answer. The Democrat Party is not the answer.
I agree.
The answer is constitutional conservative values being promoted by whoever believes in them. And that's what I have been doing my entire political career.
You have a message then resonates with, or as George Bush used to say, resonates. What do you say? Not resonates. Resignates. He used to say resonates.
Well, that's my strategy. Yes.
There you go, Rondi. Keep it up, Rondi.
With the younger group, but how do you reach? Most of the younger group are not listening. So no matter what you say is going basically, hate the expression, on deaf ear because no one's listening. How do you get them to listen to say, hey, I really am different, because most of them have tuned out the process altogether? Is there anything special that you're doing?
Well, what I'm doing special is a lot of social media, and I have a social media team. One of them is here with me right now. The one that's leading this, TC, is helping me out immensely on that. He's reaching the young people, and we do that Twitter.
He's a smart guy, too.
Yeah, he is
I
smart.
can vouch for
and
that.
good looking. Look at him.
Yeah.
But the Twitter and Facebook and all kinds of social media that old guys like us may really not understand.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe.
No, he don't understand it either.
Like me and you, Gary. Is that better? Yeah. But Joe, it's the message that truly sells. And when you hear it, it doesn't take you a long time to understand it. That's right. That's what I want. And those are the people that we're bringing in. The federal government having so much influence on our daily activities is so unreasonable, so unconstitutional. It's got to be stopped. And the only way it will be stopped, and when you get someone like me that's bold, that's courageous, I'm fearless, I'm a fighter, I'm tenacious. You get me on the project, I'm not giving up until we get through it. And so the message sells, but you got to have the salesman to do it.
Okay, we have someone on the line. We have is he live now? Jim from Tulsa. Thank you for calling Liberty Talk Radio on 1170 KFAQ. Your question, please.
Hi, Joe. I was listening to both of you, and maybe you should name him Tenacious D, but he just said that. But I agree with both of you. It's not Republican and Democrat. It's liberal versus conservative. And I'm more conservative, libertarian, but I know what liberals give you. They give you Detroit. That's what they give you, and we're heading for the United States of Detroit if we don't stop.
Yeah. And Jim, I'll break it down even further than that. It's really liberty versus tyranny. That's where we're headed today.
I think he hung up.
Jim, are you still there? Well, Jim, thank you for calling, Jim. Okay, thanks for going.
Enough said. I mean, seriously, enough said.
Yeah, okay. You know, here the tough questions that you're going to be asked, I guess, in these debates and whatever. Well, let me ask you this. If you had to do it over again, would you have included in the three-way debate that you had, would you have included all of the non-front runners?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, there is no doubt about that.
That pissed me off. Oh, I got me so mad.
And listen, and now I'm trying to be aced out of the next debate, the Channel 6, the CBS.
Really? You are?
Channel 6 and Channel 9.
Why?
I'm not a viable candidate. They forgot, I guess, that I received 95,000 votes last time when I ran for governor. I received 40% of Republican primary.
Right.
But I'm not polling high enough this time, so they're not going to invite me to be in this.
After this program, you'll be a front runner.
Oh, you're not be good friends with the Griffins. You didn't
send them a Christmas card.
Yeah, folks, you know, when this happens, whether or not you totally agree with Randy or not, you you need to voice your opinion that he should be included, okay?
Well, and there's 4 more.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's 7 in this race. There's 7 in this race.
That's right, 7 people.
And
right.
we should all be included. What a Republican primary is the time that you get the message out to Republican voters. Now, the good news is there's a lot of conservative Republican voters in this state. They're not going to get to hear the conservative message if I'm not in it. There's a couple of us in this race that are conservative, and neither one of us have been invited yet. The 2 that are in it are not the conservative candidates in this race.
Yeah. Well,
Ron Paul was treated like that.
When is that debate supposed to be on Channel 6, Randy?
I think it's June the 8th. Is that right, TC? June 8th, something like that. Yeah.
You know what we should have? We should have a debate right here with everyone who is,
Amen.
you know.
I think it's
right,
good.
With everyone, and exclude the 2 that are being... no, really, we do the opposite, you know? It just hacks me. Let me admit, I ran for U.S. Congress back in 2000. Yeah, 2000, General Electric against, I don't remember. Doug Dodd, and Doug Dodd was a Democrat. And who was our congressman?
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Yeah, John Sullivan.
John Sullivan. Yeah, John Sullivan. That was an experience of a lifetime. I won't get into that. Now, what do you think is during the debate, what is the toughest question to answer?
The one you just asked me. I've got an opinion on about everything, and I don't mind sharing it.
Let me give you what I think is one of the toughest questions.
Okay.
I have my opinion. I will not voice it.
Okay.
Right. What about securing our borders?
Sure. What about it?
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that the federal government should do would be to protect us, protect our God-given rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yet here we are. We have our soldiers all over the world in countries that most of us can't even pronounce, don't know why we're there, don't know if we have any business there. And we're leaving our borders unprotected. The very thing that government is supposed to do, they're not doing it. We're forcing ourselves on other people. So, yeah, I think we should have a good, secured immigration policy, which we don't have.
All right, now, isn't really immigration? This one drives me nuts because if Congress said, "All right, we are going to allow," I forgot the number. Is it 300,000 a year they allow, or something like that? Right, whatever. Instead of saying 300, they say, "All right, we're going to allow 500,000." Right? They just changed the 3 to a 5.
Right.
Bingo. We don't have a border problem anymore.
Yeah,
that's all we have to do. Now, at one time, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You know when immigration stopped in America from Mexico? You know when it stopped? Literally stopped dead? During the Depression. And all that tells you is that it's jobs.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to secure U.S. borders? Our borders are over 9,000 miles long. If we took every soldier, if we took every American and put every American on the border, men, women, children, you wouldn't have enough people.
Oh, I think we ought to build a wall.
Yeah, build a wall.
No, not there. In Washington, around the Beltway.
Now, I've seen the walls that were built in Mexico, the Mexican border.
Sure.
It's ugly. They took beautiful land, places where people kept, and what all that wall has done, in my opinion, is not kept people out, but kept people in. Those people come here, they want to work, they want to do things that, quite frankly, I ain't picking lettuce when it's 108 degrees out.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you convince me, right? They want to do it, make a few bucks, and go home.
Joe, here's the thing. First of all, the federal government really has no authority on immigration policy as such. It's Article 1, Section 8. They have the ability to set naturalization laws. But
Good point.
But they're not supposed to tell me. I had a couple different businesses in my lifetime, and the federal government should have no authority to tell me who I can hire from wherever I want to hire them.
Right.
It used to be like that. We had migrant workers, and you know what? Every state in the country, every state in the union had their own depots within their states. It's only when the federal government got involved and started dictating policies, who we could hire, what crops we can grow, when we can plant, when to cultivate. That's when our immigration got screwed up. So we've got to get back to the basics. government overreach is destroying the very fabric of the principles that our country, this union, was founded on. And I believe, Joe, that we're not going to fix Washington, D.C. I'm not even going to try and fix Washington, D.C. I'm going to do my darndest to protect the sovereignty of the people of the state of Oklahoma. This is where I live. This is where I choose to live, my family. And this is the way our republic was set up, individual sovereign states. These states united, not the big old honkin' United States, to be governed by a national government. That's not what this country's about. We are supposed to be sovereign individual states, free and independent, to compete with each other.
Right.
And we've got to get back to the basics.
Right. What if we knock down the wall? Like Reagan said to Gorbachev, remember? Knock down this wall, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we do the same thing? Instead of having a wall, have little houses, if you will, little offices where they can come in, register. They would all register to come in and
That's why
whatever,
they used to do it.
and have it. That's all they did.
Yep.
We had no problem at all. And after they worked, many of them the same night they went home.
Right.
And they just came back and forth. There was never a problem.
Never.
But the government got involved, and now all of a sudden
The
we have an
federal
immigration
government got
problem.
involved.
The federal, right?
That's right.
Got involved. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? What's your opinion on? I just lost it. You know what? I think my brain is loose.
Look at your notes.
I don't even have any notes.
Military.
I don't even have any notes. No,
This is all ad lib.
Geez, I hate when this happens. When you think about it, it'd be absolutely impossible to ever secure the border.
Yeah.
That would not be possible.
Well, Joe, you know, this is going to take a lot deeper discussion in the vein that you ask it. But if you're really wanting to secure the borders, you do it with free markets. That's how you do it.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. That the pressure, right? All right, minimum wage.
The minimum wage is ridiculous. Number one, as a business owner, the government should never tell me how much I have to pay somebody, but the minimum wage isn't really the problem. It is the devaluing of our dollar. It's not worth a hoot today because of government monetary policy, monetizing our money. It's stripping the value out of the money. That's why, you know, okay, we got to have $7, $10 minimum wage, $15 minimum wage. It's because the dollar's not worth anything today. That's the problem.
Yeah, I see. I'm going to give you I shouldn't give you my opinion because this is your show tonight, but the minimum wage is up to the individual.
Absolutely.
The individual determines the minimum wage. If they determine when they're in school to do nothing, smoke pot, do whatever, what I did, then, you shouldn't get paid anything because no one would hire you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
but if you
right.
work hard and you start a job even making $1, $2 an hour, and someone says, this guy is worth it. Listen, I have 2 companies. If a guy comes to me and says, really, if a minority comes to me, for example, and says, Mr. Cristiano, I want to prove to you that you cannot operate without me. That's how valuable I am. Let me work for you for 3 weeks for nothing. Of course, I would pay him, I'll work for nothing. I would put him on a payroll.
Sure.
So prove it to me, right? If I did it today, I would be arrested. I'd be thrown in jail. Right?
Yeah.
They close my company down. Right? So what do I tell the poor minority kid who wants to prove himself to me? Get lost. Hit the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. But all right.
Very true.
So you're not for... Let the free market.
Free market. I mean,
okay.
You can't force a business owner to pay somebody more than what they're worth. That's my decision to make.
Okay. All right. Comment really quick. We have 1 minute. We have 30 seconds.
Okay.
Common Core.
Common Core is a horrible piece of legislation because it is government control of our educational system. Should be repealed, and I think we did it just this week in the state legislature. I don't support Common Core, never have. No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, they're all bad. Federal
Who's
government.
responsible for a child's education?
Mom and Dad.
That's right. Okay, he got the answer right, folks.
He got the answer
Randy,
right.
listen, we have about 30 seconds.
He wins $1,000.
With that, you get a cold cup of coffee. Randy, I'm going to leave. Let the clock wind down with
Sure.
you. Please tell the our audience how they can support you, what they can do, and whatever. Okay,
I appreciate that, and thanks for inviting me to be with you, Joe. I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening. I want to come back.
Please do.
Go to randybrogdon.com. I need support. You know, my money comes from grassroots. My money comes from individuals. I don't get money from the tall building crowd, the chambers, like my two primary opponents do. You'll not see on my ethics reporting money that comes in vast sums of shadow secret money. All of my donors are listed on the FEC, and I'm proud of that. So randybrogdon.com. Follow me on Twitter.
Okay,
Facebook.
folks, thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to Liberty Talk Radio. We want to thank our sponsors for the financial support, and we'd like to thank you for listening in. You can further the cause of liberty by recommending this program to your friends and let us hear from you. So with this is Joe Cristiano, your host for Liberty Talk Radio. Stay well, stay tuned.